what what can be done on the organizing level that gives people hope. All right, this actually you can see some movement because you're seeing political, especially progressive, wins all over the country. But this is a one hell of a problem that's been going on for decades.
You know, back in March, I had the opportunity to address the Congressional Black Caucus. We took 100 mothers to Washington, D.C. for a day of action. But before I was able to address, I was vetted by Capitol Hill Security. Donald Trump had actually put me on the extreme black identity activist list. I had no idea what the hell that was. I have never advocated violence against America. How is it that the federal government don't have a problem with skinheads and racist Nazis swinging Nazi flags on American soil and carrying torches, but they have a problem when a brother takes a knee? The fact that I had to be vetted before I even step on Capitol Hill was alarming, and so we do have a pathway to victory, Jordan. I want my people to be encouraged that there are some tangible things that, and you touch bases on one of them. Number one, we have to, and these are Democrats that we're talking about. So number one is that we need new leadership. We need elected officials that care more about people than they do about job security. We have to start voting people out of office. Number two is that we have to have a real formulated plan as it relates to economic development. Nothing stops a bullet like a job. And so not only that, we need our think tanks to kind of come together with financial formulated plans. We don't want you to send us a grocery store. Know what we like to do? We like to form a co-op. We would like to need help with a 20% commercial loan and our down payment. We would like you to empower some of these big box stores to train our citizens about marketing and shelf life and give us the opportunity to own our. We don't want to be made constant consumers. Also, we want real accountability. Accountability could be maybe police insurance. Maybe you can't carry a gun and badge unless you have insurance. And if you're killing people and violating people's civil rights and the insurance company drops you, maybe we should drop you as a police officer because you're careless and rogue. So there are a lot of things. If this consent decree had teeth to it, that would actually be a step in the right direction. And there's a trap door to all of this. And we don't want that trap door to come to fruition where the boogeyman, Jordan, is no longer a monster up under our children's bed. You've talked to young people today. The boogeyman, he carries a gun and a badge and wears a blue uniform. That's who our children are afraid of, and they run for their very lives because they are being hunted by these rogue, racist, killer cops, and we must put an end to it.
And there's a big protest coming on Thursday. Tell what you want to be, what you want to reveal about it. You're one of the organizers, but there's going to be real protest on Thursday, leading all the way up to, I believe, Wrigley Field where the Cubs play.
Yes, it's going to be a monumental, epic protest. We're going to, for the first time in history, we're going to shut down Lakeshore Drive. And we're not doing it on a weekend. We're not doing it, we're doing it at the height of rush hour. And the reason that we're doing it is that we want to redistribute the pain. We want to bring some attention to the vicious cycle of gun violence that the south and west sides of Chicago find themselves enthralled in. We want to take exception to the fact
Stop
that
letting police tell us what. Stop letting police give us charges. Stop letting police put the charges on us based on our criminal history. That's all I gotta say.
that's what's up, brother.
Stop letting the police handle. Stop letting them put charges on us just because we got a criminal history and all that shit. You know? So
Yeah, and we deal with that a lot. Trumped up cover charges. At the Tree of Life, we provide an awful lot of criminal defense because when the police violates human rights, they come with the same. Oh, he tried to run me over with the car. And have you seen the new thing they did doing now? The tweeting of the gun.
What?
The tweeting of the gun. They put the weapon on Twitter now.
They took a picture to try to like prove that.
Yeah. We found a gun on the scene, but then again, we find an awful lot of the guns that have been turned in or confiscated or scheduled to be destroyed. Somehow, those guns mysteriously end up back at other crime scenes. Back to the march, Jordan. Back to the Jordan. We happen to be very organized. We have a fleet of buses. We have several pickup points around the city. This is unlike the previous march. You may have heard about the shutting down of the Dan Ryan. Pharaoh will not be marching with Moses. This will not be a parade. We will not. We're not seeking anybody's permission. This is real civil disobedience. We don't have any permits or anything like that. And so what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be bringing attention to the disparity of two cities. You've been on the north side.
It's a different world.
It's a whole different world. And the prevailing opinion is that we're saying is that we're not going to pick any cotton in the field south and west of Wrigleyville. We're not going to let this mayor and this superintendent return us to a time where they seek to put us in chains and return us to servitude. This is where the golden pagan fatted calf is. And the city drapes our TIF money and our tax dollars while they leave us to starve to death in food desert and drown in a bloody river of gun violence. And so we have it's picking up steam. You know, you heard about it. We have several celebrities, for lack of a better word, that have committed to join us. We have a diverse clergy group. We have rabbis, imams. The gay and lesbian community has committed to us, the Indian community. And so the groundswell of attention, I guess that's why I've received so many death threats of late. So we're going to march, we're going to shut down Lakeshore Drive, and then we're going to march north on Addison to Clark Street, right to the very gates of Wrigley Field.
And my last question, from a bigger picture, you know, the national media and frankly the local media, all this talk, oh, our democracy is under attack from Russia and Trump is a boogeyman, and it's almost like nothing else is happening, nothing else matters. People are getting murdered here on a daily basis, and when you watch the news, it's almost like robotic. They just report it and move on to the next, report it and move on to the next. The media doesn't seem to be really treating this as the emergency it is, because I look at it as an emergency if tonight there's a chance a black man's going to get killed by, or any man is going to get senselessly killed by police.
If you were a gambling man in Vegas, you place your bets that a black man's civil rights is going to get violated in Chicago. But the bigger picture about the media, and there's three things in our beautiful struggle in civil rights that concerns us about the media. And so that's why I'm so glad at what it is that you do, Jordan, because had it not been for people like you who are not a part of the mainstream media, so many people would not know the exact nature of our plight. So listen, brother, I tip my hat to you guys and what you do, because here's the problem that we have. It's our lying eyes, Jordan. They used to take black people out in the back 40 and lynch us by torchlight. But now they shoot us in broad daylight for the whole world to see, and then they tell us our lying eyes did not see. We saw Philando Castile cooperate and say, I have a gun. We seen his child, but there was no accountability. We seen Laquan McDonald walking away from the police officer. We seen Snoop Augustus show his FOIA card. We seen time and time compliance. But yet they would tell us our lying eyes did not see what we thought we saw. I've watched hundreds of police press conference where they spin this ridiculous narrative. But know what, Jordan? It's not reporters on the other side that's saying, hey, that doesn't make sense. Are you really saying that? So, people in your field, I would ask that you empower real investigative journalists to question some of these ridiculous narratives that insult the intelligence. The fact is that we say indict, convict, send these killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. But the problem is, Jordan, is that very few police officers are convicted, less known, indicted. I relish the day. When will there come a day when I'm so tired of black people holding candlelight vigils, screaming for justice? When is the day gonna come, Jordan, when a racist killer cop's family will be outside prison's walls waiting for a stay of execution for the governor because this killer cop is killing people and their families are suffering? I'm tired of seeing black women and brown women, children are getting slaughtered with impunity.